I want to replace one switch in a 3-gang box with a dimmer. But there are 5 sets of wires coming into the box. I know one set of wires brings power in, and one goes to each current light fixture in the bathroom, but not sure what the 5th set of wires is for. All neutral, white, wires are twisted up together with a nut. Only black, hot, wires are entering/leaving and connected to the light switches.
I'll do all I can to help. How long have you been dealing with this?
Just since today.
Do you plan on doing the work yourself?
Yes.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
House is 15 years old.
Hello and welcome to Just Answer. My name is I will be happy to assist you with your electrical question. 1. Simple replacement. Kill power at the circuit breaker and remove one wire at a time from the existing switch and re-splice that wire to the new dimmer. Repeat for the second dimmer wire. 2. There is no need to disconnect any other wires in the 3-gang box except the 2 existing switch wires where the new dimmer switch will be replaced. If you remove or undo other splices and/or terminations, you will create other problems.
At first I thought it was straightforward too, except that the current rocker switch has 3 hot wires going into it, plus ground. The 3rd hot wire is stripped for 1 centimeter and wrapped around a screw on the side of the switch. That looped hot wire is going into the next switch, and only the last switch has no extra wires, 1 in, 1 out, ground. My new dimmer switch doesn't have the screw on the side, so I can't just put it in place of the current rocker switch. Can I send a photo in this box?
Send me a picture of the existing switch and the new dimmer switch so I can review what you have in place. Thanks. Kevin.
The wire under the side screw of fixture 1 enters the south terminal of fixture 2. Then there is a 6 inches connector from the side screw of fixture 2 that enters the south terminal of fixture 3. The close-ups are showing the first fixture, which is the one that controls the light I want to put on the dimmer.
Thanks for the pics. 1. Where the looped wire is wrapped around the old switch screw, cut that wire in /12 and splice a 6-inch pigtail wire of the same wire color, black, and the same wire size, and splice with a plastic wire nut. Then splice the pigtail wire to one of the dimmer black wires and splice the second dimmer black to the other lone black house wire. 2. The looped wire is being used as the hot circuit feed on the existing switch, thus the reason it is looped. Splice the dimmer green ground wire to the bare copper ground wire and secure with a plastic wire nut. Refer to the pigtail diagram shown below. Reply back with any questions or problems and let me know how you make out and we can take it from there. Thanks. Kevin. Typo. Cut the looped wire in half and insert a 6-inch pigtail wire and secure with a wire nut.
Okay, we'll have to buy some wire and nuts tomorrow. No extra frown, I understand, and the diagram is very clear. Thanks. I will reply tomorrow ASAP and can leave the review then. I appreciate the help.
No problem, glad to assist. 1. If the circuit breaker is a 15 amp, then you will need 14 AWG copper black wire, solid or stranded will both work. If the breaker is a 20 amp, then you will need 12 AWG copper black wire, solid or stranded. Reply back to me tomorrow and let me know how it goes. In the meantime, have a good evening and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks. Kevin.
Good morning, Kevin. I think we failed to account for that fifth set of wires, which was originally attached to switch 1. It turns out that it controls the fan/light in the adjacent bedroom. So I tried a couple different dimmer/pigtail splice variations, and currently, original switch 1 south wire is spliced together with pigtail, and one of dimmer switch wire's original switch 1 north wire is spliced to the other end of the pigtail, and the cut looper going to switch 2 incoming looper wire, cut, is spliced to other dimmer switch wire. Currently, all switches operate the correct light/fan and the dimmer switch works. But, if other bathroom light or bathroom fan is on, and I dim the dimmer, it dims everything. If the ceiling fan and light in adjoining bedroom are on, and I dim the dimmer, it dims them too. So now entire master circuit, including plugs, are dimmable. I need to detach the other light/fan/plugs from the dimmer without detaching them from the power.
Good morning. 1. Which switch are you replacing for the dimmer? Left, middle or right switch? 2. Are all 3 existing switches single pole types, or are any of them a 3-way? Looks like all single pole types from the picture, is that correct? 3. Any chance that you have a 2-wire lead AC voltage tester or a multimeter available to confirm the hot wires and the switched loop wires on each switch? I copied your picture. I'm thinking this is what you have in place. I edited the picture to illustrate the hot wires from the switched loop wires. A 2-wire AC voltage tester can confirm if my editing is correct as to what you have in place. See revised picture shown below.
Hi Kevin, sorry for the delay. Yes, it is the leftmost switch that I want to change to a dimmer. I have a 2-wire voltage tester, but I'm teaching until 3, so cannot get home for a while. I should have taken a new photo once I put the dimmer and pigtail in. To recap, there are 5 hot wires. 1 is coming in from the main, and the rest go to one of 4 switches, 3 bathroom, 1 bedroom. All old switches were being used as single pole, but they look like they could be converted to 3-way, i.e. they have extra screws on the sides, and openings in the backs for inserting wires. The new dimmer switch does not have 3-way potential, it has only 2 hot wires and no side screws. The wire in the picture you currently have labeled as probably circuit feed hot wire is the only hot wire coming from the bottom of the circuit box. Right now, it is in a wire cap with a pigtail and one of the dimmer switch wires, 3 wires and 1 wire cap. So I guess that it was the feeder in from the main, but can confirm once I get home. In the original configuration, it didn't matter that the main was looped into all 4 switches because all were operating a single pole. So open any one, and voila, light/fan/plugs. Now, with the dimmer, I don't know where to connect the pigtail to so that the main feed is not attached to the dimmer.
Thanks for the replies. Just reply back to me when you get home and we can take it from there. 1. A single pole switch will only contain 2 brass screws and 1 green ground screw. 3-way switches contain 2 brass screws and 1 black screw, so there is the difference. 2. At each of the 3 switches, measure for a constant 120 volts where there are multiple jumpers. These 3 locations should always be hot no matter if the switches are on or off. 3. Next, measure for 120 volts at each switch where the single wires are located. These should be the switched loops and will only measure 120 volts when the switch is turned on. 4. If you can confirm these 6 voltage measurements, then my edited drawing is correct. Send me a picture of how you have the dimmer switch installed. Thanks. Kevin.
What you have labeled in the picture is switch loop, which are all wires entering the north terminals of the light switches, are hot wires going to the actual fixtures in the bathroom. But on the left fixture, the one I want to replace, the wire that came in and was looped under the screw originally, now I cut that loop. That hot wire I think goes to the fan/light and all the plugs in the adjoining bedroom. So, the question is, without rewiring all 3 bathroom switches, is there a way to give power to the bedroom hot wire and the bathroom fixtures/plugs without running the main through the dimmer, because then the dimmer controls access to voltage for all 4 switches. It is only supposed to control voltage for the one bathroom vanity light. Sorry, was typing when your response came in. I will send you a new picture once I get home. Thanks again for your effort on this problem.
The dimmer switch can contain multiple hot wires, not only to feed the dimmer switch on one of its black wires, but to also pigtail jumper to provide power to the 2 other switches and/or any other downstream devices. The switch loop wire from the dimmer is the second black dimmer wire and should only contain 1 wire splice that extends out to the light. In other words, one dimmer black wire can have multiple other black house wires splicing into it, but the second black dimmer should only be spliced to one other house black wire. Switch loop, not a problem. We can continue when you get home from work.
Hi Kevin, I tested the voltage with other terminal on the ground wires. Neutral twist up was too much work to uncap. And yes, the upper, north, wires only have voltage when the circuit is on. Original looped wire under screw was main coming in and has voltage even when lights are off. I took a picture, but there is so much going on that I'm not sure you'll be able to make it out. Better labeled picture is attached now.
Thanks for the pics. 1. On the original picture with the old switch installed, there was one looped wire, another backstabbed wire near the loop screw and the lone wire on the opposite screw. If cutting the looped wire in half, then the original switch only contained 4 black house wires. You mentioned the 5th set of wires. I don't see a 5th wire from the original picture. 2. On the new picture with dimmer installed, I am now only seeing 3 black house wires. Where did the 4th black wire disappear to?
Sorry, I know the picture is not very clear. Here is another one with each incoming/outgoing wire set labeled. On your earlier advice, I switched the vanity wire indicated by the topmost arrow, which is the one I want controlled by the dimmer, with the bedroom switch wire in the 4th arrow from the top, arrow directly opposite the topmost arrow. Now the bedroom switch is no longer dim, and the vanity switch does dim, but I need to recheck the connection to the other 2 bathroom switches because they are not working.
1. Yes, I understand that the box is very busy with many wires and jumpers. 2. If the dimmer is only controlling one vanity light, then there should only be one switch loop, house black, exiting from the dimmer out to the vanity light. The switch loop wire can be confirmed with a voltage tester. When the dimmer is off, then no voltage. When the dimmer is partially on, then only minimal voltage. When the dimmer is fully on, then maximum of 120 volts on the switch loop output black wire. 3. Recheck the hot wire and downstream splices that extend to the other 2 switches. Possibly a faulty splice?
Fixed IT. Yes, it was a faulty splice. Everything is working as it should and I can close up the box. I know this took much longer than it should have, but you gave critical advice. Thank you again, another thrilled customer.
There you go, great job on locating the faulty splice, glad that all is working correctly. Faulty splices are somewhat common, so don't feel bad. Been down that road many times over the years. The secret to splicing wires is to twist all wires using a set of lineman pliers and then twisting the plastic wire nut as tight as possible. If you have any additional questions, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer them for you. Otherwise, don't forget to rate me before you log off. Thanks. Kevin. Thank you for the positive service rating as well as the bonus. Both are very much appreciated. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Take care and have a great evening. Thanks again. Kevin.
Better service than any electrician I could have hired here.
Thanks for the kind words, that is very much appreciated. Guess I was able to put my 40 years of electrical background and 30 years of being a licensed electrician to some good use. I get much satisfaction when I can assist our customers here and get their projects up and running. That is our goal at JustAnswer. Take care and thanks again for everything. If you have any future electrical projects, request for me as I'm logged on here every day from around 07:00 hours till midnight CST. Thanks. Kevin.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert, now visit justanswer.com/YTHI.